A lot of people will know you from your gourmet segment following the Tour de France,
Yes.
which you did for 15 years. What are some of your fondest memories from doing that?
Well, to start with, I created the show. I presented it to SBS, and at the time, because I said, it's good to Tour de France is such an amazing thing about France. It's a cultural show. The images from the helicopter is just amazing. The regions, the mountains, and I suggested that perhaps I could get involved with doing a little segment talking about the culture, the regions, the food. And at the time, SBS said, "Well, listen, we produce sport, we don't produce cooking." And then we discussed further, and a couple of years later, I was asked. Les Marais said, "Listen, we think the idea is good, but you'll have to produce it because we do sport." So with all the experience I had in television, in really what's cooking, I was really producing a food segment for a daily show with other people. But and with working with cameramans and others, I started to understand what it took to put a television show. And then as that segment started, it was recorded in Australia and became popular. And then suddenly we found ourselves spending 2 months in France, going from region to region, featuring the best of every region where the Tour de France was going that year. And that means visiting the most beautiful markets, meeting some of the great patissiers, the great chef, meeting someone making the best local goat cheese, visiting the market where that person was selling the goat cheese, and so on and so on. So it was for the last 10 years of me doing presenting and producing that show. It was really uh, the the best job of my life because it it was everything together. Like my skill as a chef, my skill as a communicator about food, my skill on television that I had learned for many years, and and it was really lovely. And then 2 years ago, I decided that it was good. I had enough. I've worked hard in my life, um, so I let it go. And on television, there's a rule that I've learned after more than 40 years of television. It is always nicer to live on your terms rather than when they tell you, "Sorry, mate, it's finished," with no warning. So it was wonderful. I have a great relationship with SBS, and people are remember Tesla tour as something fun, and where they took them away in the middle of a cold winter in Australia.
With that show, I mean, you pretty much highlighted so much of French food and French culture as you traveled around the race. What dish or person in particular did you enjoy showing?
Well, there's been many. Every year there was magic moments. Really, those magic moments where you go in a farm at 2,000 meters high in the Alps, La Chèvrerie, and you have got two guys. They look like hippies. They have been in their country all their life. They they milk their goats by hand, and they make their cheese, in a small room, and then they turn their cheese and they brush them and they go to the market and everyone knows them, and you taste the thing and you say, "Gosh, I've never tasted a cheese like that in my whole life." So as a chef, this is really a magic moment, because they open their door and you sit with them for breakfast. They milk the cow, they mix, do their preparation, they go for breakfast. So it's the red wine at breakfast and whatever they they have, because it's their day is halfway already. They have been up for 3 or 4 hours. um, but other magic moment was meeting for the second time in my life the great chef called Michel Guérard, the chef that really was amazing in with Nouvelle Cuisine, with the revolution of modern cuisine. When we went there 3 years ago, 85-year-old, still in the kitchen, not chopping the onion, but certainly running his brigade in the most amazing city in Eugénie-les-Bains, with a beautiful garden, with a garden, like with century-old trees, but also a vegetable garden, herb garden, in a most delightful hotel that you can imagine, a spa, that he has been running. He's 85. He has been a chef for 60 something years. He has got a 3-star restaurant. Uh, he has understood what it is about, and he explained to me. He said, "We, it's like theater. It's a show. People come to be entertained. They don't come to, you know, but you have got to entertain them with the most beautiful crockery, cutlery, the decor, the table, the entrance, the music, the, greeting them, giving them the chance to visit the kitchen. Like it is not just, being a smartass in the kitchen, imposing what you think is best. It's really giving the clients, like, a dream day, something that they will remember for the rest of their life. So for me, that was a highlight because I know that now he's 88. It was 3 years ago. He's not going to be there for many years, and I've been lucky to meet a true master.
Gabriel Gate, you have given us such a wealth of knowledge, and thank you so much for joining us on Fabulously Delicious.
It was a great pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks, Gabriel.
Thank you, Andrew.
How fabulous is Gabriel Gate? When I started Fabulously Delicious, I dreamed of the day that I'd be able to interview somebody like him, one of my food heroes, and look, here it is. And not only that, I got to interview him for a whole hour and a half, which made 2 episodes for you. It really showed what a generous and kind person he is to have taken the time to let me do that. And I hope you agree, it really was a fabulous podcast episode. What a wonderful wealth of knowledge he has about French food and seafood. And how lucky is Australia to have him living there, spreading the word of great food, seasonality and quality as well. Also, he's cooking up a storm with some delicious recipes from his cookbooks and on TV. So I can't wait to get my hands on that new cookbook. Remember, if you aren't already following me on Apple or Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts, then please do. Also, if you are on Apple, please leave me a review, pretty please. A 5-star one maybe even. Merci beaucoup. Over the next few weeks, we have some more fabulous French foodies on the way, so please do keep listening. And remember, as I always say, whatever you do, do it fabulously. A bientôt and bon app.